Hello and welcome back to our May segment of 71 Magazine. We're glad to have with us from Mentor Kids Kentucky, Burley Tillman Sullivan, Executive Director. Hello, Burley.
Good morning.
I'm so glad to have you on the show. We have the, I would say, good fortune of knowing one another through our sons.
Yes, yes.
However, and being moms, I have to say that is a reason why Mentor Kids Kentucky is so important. I know there are times in our lives where we are so thankful for the other adults that are put in our children's path. And you guys are celebrating a big anniversary.
Yes.
And can you tell us about that anniversary, but also what does Mentor Kids Kentucky do for those that don't know?
Okay, so I'm going to be talking for like the next 25 minutes.
And go. You're great. That's fantastic.
So we have been celebrating 25 years
Wow.
in our community. And originally we were big brothers, big sisters.
Mm-hmm.
And then our values started to not align with them. And just through some research, the board at that time truly felt like the missing component was Jesus.
Okay.
And so that's when we officially broke from Big Brothers Big Sisters and became a Christian mentoring agency.
Okay.
And so we have been a Christian mentoring agency for 15 years now.
Very good, very good. Now, I know a lot of times you'll see, actually, I'm going to use Dunkin' Donuts as an example. I will see what I know is a mentor and a mentee at Dunkin' Donuts. How are people, and I can hear, how is your day going? How is school going? How is an adult mentor matched up with this child? How do you guys do this?
It's actually like a long process,
Okay.
but we try to do it as quick as possible. So we get a referral, whether for the youth, and whether that is from the school, just a friend, a legal guardian, and so we send them an application, they fill it out, and then we bring them in for an interview. And I always do the legal guardians, and Maria, my program director, does the youth, which is kind of good because sometimes I get really intense and the little kids.
Yes.
I can go right into like stealth bomber mom, like at a switch. So she's there with the child, interviewing them, pulling out all those great nuggets. And we kind of use that time to find areas of strength of the child, then also potential areas of growth.
Okay.
Because we keep all of that in mind whenever we go look for a mentor.
Okay.
And so then if you do the flip side with the mentor recruitment process, they fill out a application. They have to be 18 years or older, have lived in Davis County for at least 6 months, and be grounded in a church.
Okay.
Then we send out 5 references. We do a pastoral reference, an employer reference, a relative or spouse, and then 2 friends. Then we do a huge background check on them, state and federal, and their driving records. Then we bring them in for the interview. So it is quite lengthy, but what I'm able to say when I do those legal guardian interviews is that there is not one match that I will sign off on that I wouldn't put my own son and daughter with.
Yeah.
So that, just to have that confidence even going in there, because I was a single parent at one time. And so I understand firsthand just the desperation of the moment.
Yeah.
Because when I first started Mentor Kids, it was like we serve at-risk youth. And I'm like,
Everyone's at risk.
Everybody.
Yeah.
If you're breathing oxygen,
Yeah.
you are at risk.
Yeah.
And so I thought that kind of just did it just wasn't like a fair label.
Yeah.
And so, but truly, the statistics are stacked against youth from single parent and non-traditional households. Non-traditional, and this is what we're actually seeing more of, is that grandparents, aunts, uncles, they're raising the kids.
Yeah. And do you see over how is there an average, I say length of stay? I know that's a crazy way to put it, but is there an average length of mentorship? Is there a specific age that the kids start? And,
yes.
Okay.
6 years old.
Okay. Oh wow, they're little bitties is
Yes,
what I like
they
to say.
are.
Yeah.
Yes, so 6 years old, and then we say that like our age groups are 6 to 14.
Okay.
And 14 being, if we have not come alongside that youth yet, it's pretty impossible for anyone to come alongside that youth because, you're 14. You're too cool for school.
Yeah.
you don't want to listen to your parents, you don't have time for another relationship with an adult.
Yeah.
So when you do like the 6 to 12 is really a sweet spot for mentoring. But we always tell the mentors, it's just a commitment of 1 year. But it is very rare that ever stops at 1 year.
Yeah.
And like we are getting ready to have a match graduate this year that's been matched for 10 years.
Oh, wow.
And the average is about 5. And typically it's because they started at 12 years old, maybe 5 years. They've seen them through the middle school and then high school, and then we close it before they go to college.
Oh, wow. And do you see those relationships carry on? I mean, because now, with it being in its current form for 15 years, I'm sure there are adults now. You all have
Yes.
produced,
Yes.
you know.
And in fact, there's an amazing video on our website, and it is just they were matched when they were young. It was a teacher referral, and so they made it to the other side. They graduated, but he still goes over and hangs
wow.
out with them. You know, even whenever he and his wife, the mentor and his wife, were out on a date night, he still hung out with the kids
Oh, wow.
because
Yeah.
those were like his siblings.
Yeah. Well, what do you see? So if someone is watching and they're either maybe the parent or guardian of a child that they feel like needs additional mentorship, or we've got someone that says, I think I would be a good mentor. What does the time together look like? Is it is it once a month, twice a week? Do they go out for a couple of hours? What might that look like?
At the first year of the match, it's 1 hour once a week.
Okay.
Just because we're trying to build a consistency
Sure.
for the child. And also actually a consistency for the mentor.
Yeah.
Because in this crazy world, things happen. And so but we find that typically when they come together once a week, it starts off an hour and then it'll go to 2 hours. And I can speak because my husband's a mentor.
Okay.
I'm not a mentor because all the kids.
You would take them all,
yes.
right.
And they
Yeah.
kind of all are mine.
Yes.
And even though Maria would like me to not be a part of every match, I'm kind of a part of every match. But my husband's mentee, he came over to our house and we were all picking up sticks and cleaning up the yard. So guess what? His mentee picked up sticks, cleaned up the yard, and then we all celebrated just like we normally would have by going and having, ice cream.
Yeah.
So it's just showing, I do not want our mentors to rearrange their lives for this child. This child, or youth, I should say, needs to be folded into their lives because I want that child to see the dynamic of what it looks like between a husband and a wife,
Yeah.
a mom and a dad, and
Children.
pouring into the children, and just to almost like an extended family.
Well, and I think when as I'm listening, I'm processing everything you're saying, but I'm thinking if it's not a true representation of the person if they're it's almost like dating, to be honest with you, because you're putting out a false persona if you're not already incorporating them into the life that already exists.
Exactly.
And that's what they need.
And also, like when I became executive director, I've been there for 3 years now.
Right.
I was just sitting there. I'm very fast-paced, bottom line.
Yeah, I'm very bottom line myself.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I put myself in, because we're always trying to recruit mentors. So I'm like, okay, where's the breakdown in this? So I just flipped. Okay, I'm going to be a female. Well, I am a female, but I'm going to be the female of a male mentor.
Okay.
Okay, and this male mentor, because we need male mentors desperately, I've had a hot day of just chaos and work not happening and deadlines and kids. Then I come home and now I have dinner and homework and grumpy kids. And my husband looks at me and says, hey, I'm going to go be the hands and feet of Jesus to this young youth, and we're going to go play laser tag. I'll see you. It'll probably be after the kids go to bed when I get back. And I'd be like, huh. And then the kids are like, what? They're going to go to laser tag and have fun without,
Yeah, what about us? Yeah.
So that, I don't want any division or discord.
Yeah.
So then why not to get the whole family on board and almost have it be like just something easy, like, hey, we're going to go pick up this child, and then like everybody can pour into him.
And I didn't consider that. I was even thinking earlier when I was referencing the situation that I had seen at Duncan, it was an older person was the mentor and so forth. But it can be that active family and incorporating it and letting them see that dynamic, a healthy dynamic. Wow. See,
Paradigm shift.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I'm having epiphanies as I'm sitting here.
Well,
That's
even like
great.
William at his, he plays, of course, he plays the sports that are at the hottest months, and so he's playing football, and there's no father in the picture, and his mom is amazing, just love her, but our whole family is cheering from the stands.
Yeah.
You know, he has it's like we're his circle. We're all his village, so to speak.
Well, and because you all are a nonprofit organization,
With Jesus in the bylaws.
with Jesus in the bylaws, how can people be a part of fundraising or making sure that these matches actually happen? Because there's going to be that group of people that says, I can't be a mentor, but I want to be able to support this program. How can that be done?
So amazing that you even brought that up, because of course we need time, but a lot of people can't give their time. And so then as far as like financially, they can come along monthly and support us, because so not only are we making the match, running all the background checks, doing all of the reference checks, we are following that match weekly to keep for accountability, to make sure that the match is growing. Then there's insurance. Each of our mentors are covered with $1 million policy. And then, we have the youth protected also. So there's a lot of expense that goes into it. And when you have Jesus in the bylaws, that takes you out of so many grants.
Sure.
And so all of our funding is basically local.
Okay.
Local grants who know us, monthly supporters, and then we have a couple churches that support us also. But they could just easily go on our website, call us. I mean, we're right there diagonal from the Briar Patch. Eat lunch, come over and to just check in. But that's huge.
Well, and I want to say something that I'm personally aware of because of my full-time job in health education, cancer specifically. You all even do events for your families to let them know about changes in insurance and services that are available. And why is that important to you all?
Okay, so I guess it starts having a son with special needs. And when I do all the legal guardian interviews, I just ask questions, because the way that we've set it up is that our mentors are to focus 100% on that mentee. Maria and I come alongside that legal guardian. And so if they're struggling with like paying their air conditioning bill, we do everything we can to try to help direct them in the right area where they need to go. I always review the applications before I go over it, and you see some diagnosis of ADHD, some speech therapy needs, and just from my own experience with the insurances, I just asked, and I said, so why did you choose this policy? And they said, oh, we don't have a copay. And I was like, oh, okay, that's great. Didn't say a word, because that's not my job, that's not Mentor Kids' job. But I did my own digging and found out that they have no copay, but if they would have chosen another one, they could have had $1 copay and had twice as many services.
More coverage, right.
So then, because again, that's not our lane, I offered it up. I'm a firm believer in knowledge is power, and I want to give tools. Because if I can give tools to the legal guardians, to the household, then those tools will carry over to the youth. And if we have that mentor equipping that youth with tools, I mean,
hopefully they'll become an adult with tools.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so you actually attended the first one, our community health fair open house. Literally made it up as we were going along, but we invited all the different insurance carriers and just opened it up and said, if you want to ask questions, if you want to find out more, there's going to be other resources here, then come. But if not, I did not call that person and say, you need to be here. I didn't do any of that. But anytime that we can fill in a gap or a need to help that youth be the most successful that he or she could possibly be,
you're going to do it.
Yes.
Well, we have actually expended our time, and we're going to have to do this again. But I know that we've gone over so much, and someone may have additional questions. How can they get in touch with you?
Our website, mentorkidsky.org. We are diagonal from the Briar Patch on Beach Road, and we're always there.
Okay.
People always just stop in. And then our phone number is 270-926-6893.
Well, Burley, thank you so much for joining us today. Again, you've given me, I've sat here and had epiphanies of my own, so thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. And we'd like to thank you for watching 71 Magazine. Please stay tuned for more great community programming.